game or?
No, it's just really easy. If you want, I can like sprint and show you how loud it is. If that would be helpful. Wait, let me do some sprinting. I have to go into a level. By the way, this game has no loading times on PC. How mad is this? It's like loading.
Oh wow.
It's like.
Everyone's left.
There should be no more monitors. So tell me when I can start. That won't be timed though, as I've said. Let me know when you're ready, James. Yeah, it's fine. I'm about to do a strat which actually does exist. I do it before the game even starts, so it's not actually timed. It's this game has some pretty weird strats.
We're just going to assume that everything you do is part of the game strat. So is it a new game plus? Because you've got to change something before. Well, yeah, introduce yourself.
Sort of, yeah. We allowed it because it's actually really difficult to not allow it.
Introduce who you are in the context of this game.
Yeah, okay, are you live? Here we go. Alright, hey guys, this is Sheepdog and Wolf. This game released in 2002 for PlayStation 1, 2001 PC. I'm going to be speedrunning it. Before we get into anything else, I'm about to do a strat that saves time later on in the run, before the run even starts, by loading a different save game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into level 8. There's an item which turns back time, and when you turn back time there's a 6-second transition, but if I quit the level at a certain moment, it skips the transition until I close the game. So I can start a new game and that glitch is still active. So it saves about 20 to 30 seconds to activate this glitch before the run starts.
Does that mean this is technically new game plus?
Sort of, but we count it because otherwise it'd be a nightmare to actually play the game. So all you need to understand is turn back time, and then I'm going to restart the level like this. And we'll
Really
just
slow transition.
yeah.
Oh my god.
So remember how slow that was? So now we're ready to actually start the run.
This is more optimized than I expected. For such an obscure game.
I found that strat by the way,
alright.
by mistake, because I posted videos and people were like, why do you have no transitions? And I was like, oh, I accidentally got rid of them. Okay. Are you ready on time?
Yeah, you can.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So this is actually Sheepdog and Wolf now. So this is level 0, the tutorial level. It's basically going to explain how we play the game. But first, tell us it's really bad. And kill us 4 times.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
We couldn't find any more. 5 years.
Okay, so now I'm going to turn off
I haven't played the
autosave
last 5 years.
because it saves quite a lot of time. So now it's teaching us to do to move the camera like you get in a lot of games. It's weirdly difficult to do optimally actually. This level is fairly straightforward, so it gives me time to kind of explain the mechanics. So basically it's kind of a platformer puzzle You can double jump, and you can sprint. We're about to have the sprinting tutorial. So the most important thing to know about sprinting is I don't hold the button to do it. I press circle rapidly over and over and over to do it. So I can't actually choose when sprinting ends. Because it just ends sometime after I stop pressing circle. The game audio is really loud. So while I've got this time, I will also mention that the camera in this game is absolutely awful. I do have a little bit of control with L2 and R2 to move it left and right, but I can't look up and down, and also the camera is just off. We'll see loads of examples of the camera trying to kill me later on. This is all kind of intended strats, just to kind of done quickly.
So at this point, it's just walking everywhere and
yeah, I'm just walking as quick, as optimally as possible. So there, like, I just have to, like, stopping in front of that mailbox is actually much harder than it looks, because I have to, like, time and guess when
it's like you're always on a slippery surface.
Yeah. Also, welcome to the worst sound effect in the game. Luckily we only need to hear this twice in the run. They're both right at the start. Also, the controls of the rocket are really broken on PC. It's not possible to move up, down, or left or right, only diagonally, which makes it really weird to control.
And it's not like that on the PS1, right?
Yeah, correct. So we stop right in front of the sheep. And it's really weird not having to split. Yeah, so that's level 0 over.
I can see your right hand twitch.
I was like, I want to split. This is the best part of the whole run if you listen to the audio. There we go, nice remix of the main theme, if you could hear that. So we're going straight into level 1. So one of the hardest strats of the whole game is coming up like right now. We only go for it because it's right at the start of the game. I'll go for it once or twice. It's called 3 letters because we're going to try and get across the bridge in only 3 letters rather than 4 letters, which saves probably about 5 seconds. So we just steal the sheep casually. That's the intended way to steal the sheep. This is the first level in the game. So Porky Pig here is going to explain to us how lettuce works. Basically, sheep are attracted to lettuce. Oh, I didn't explain. So the win condition of the game is get the sheep to the goal on every level. So there's a goal over there, the white circle, and I need to concentrate here. That might not be good. Actually, it might be good. Okay, the bridge shaking like that generally is a good sign. It means I was about to die. But if you're about to die, it generally means that you were really close, which means you did it optimally.
Yeah.
And it looks like we got it right, so you can just about see the bridge from there.
You mentioned that you have to get the sheep to the circle.
Oh yeah, I totally skipped over that. I stood inside of a tree, don't worry about it. Yeah, we did 3 letters first time. Okay, that's really good.
But you also have to be in the circle as well. It only comes up in a few levels, though.
Yeah, it actually comes up in a couple, but yeah. You and the sheep have to be in the circle. Okay, so that was level 1. At the end of every single level, we have to walk to the next level, which gets longer and longer as the game goes on, unfortunately. But so here, the game immediately screws you over the camera. The camera will just put me like into a wall, like this. I was okay. And there's also about a 20% chance now the camera will just look at the ground, and it'll make this section almost impossible. And that's what we've got. But we made it anyway. Nice.
Yeah.
So there, I did a dash cancel by dashing into a wall. It meant that I didn't have to do the skid slowdown animation. You can only do it on certain pieces of environment. So here we get the perfume, and this is the only time in the entire game the perfume actually exists. But we're going to lure a sheep over, and then and basically bring it over to us. So I haven't had a chance to explain basically the basic mechanics of the game involving Sam. Basically, Sam has an area, which means there's an orange icon in the top left if you're inside the area. Oh god, talking in playing this game is hard. See that? So there was the green icon. That means I was close to the area. orange means I was in the area, and red means he's seen me. While I'm in the orange area, I need to sneak and also not. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, there we go. Yeah, sometimes the sheep just gets stuck. So while inside the orange area, I have to sneak, or Sam will see me, and I also need to like not be in his line of sight, which is what the icon is for.
It's like very basic stealth mechanic.
Yeah. There's so much to explain in this game because every single level will have a bunch of strats, as well as like generally the game. But hopefully I have a rough idea of what I'm supposed to do. Whoa, Jace, don't break my game.
I didn't do anything.
You did though.
I didn't press anything.
You had an effect.
Oh, the game crashed.
Oh wow, the game crashed.
Oh,
Restart run.
Yeah, when you set 7
Yeah, we're gonna
minutes
have to
in.
restart.
Yep.
Game crash.
can you transition to a different scene while I fix it?
Right.
Technical difficulties.
Give me a sec.
Oh, that's not a different screen.
Hello.
Oh.
It's back.
Okay, so I've never seen the game crash there before. Are you fixing the thing, Jay?
I mean, it's fine. I can't hold the word technical.
I've never seen the game crash there. I don't have backup saves because I'm not auto saving.
You could just start the run again.
I
We're
could.
only like 7 minutes in.
Shall I just start the run again? Okay, yeah. Because I could, in theory, load my other save, but if I do the same levels again, I'm not sure if that doesn't really count. Huh. I've seen the game crash quite a bit when you tab out, but never that. All you're doing is doing like a hook through, isn't it, on
Yeah.
the HDMI?
Yeah, it won't. This won't affect your computer at all.
That's really weird then.
Like some food while you like.
You haven't reset the timer.
And now.
Okay.
Wait, you have to redo the strat, the beginning thing.
Oh shit! Thanks. I've actually forgot that before. I'm not ready for time now.
Take 2.
Oh what? That's not.
Yeah.
Oh, did I hit new game?
Technical difficulties again.
No. Easily fixed.
If that had overwritten my other save, that would have really sucked.
Technical difficulties. Oh well. No, back here.
Right, load.
Back here.
All right, you can stream this now. Yeah. Are we live? We're properly live.
Yeah, we're
Yep.
properly live.
Okay, we're gonna have to reset the no transition glitch again.
How much time does this save? Total?
Like 30 seconds.
Oh.
You have to see the transition. I think you have to go back in time 3 or 4 times, and it takes 6 seconds each time. So maybe it's not 30 seconds, but it saves like a really good amount of time.
Yeah. It's 30 seconds is really significant.
Yeah.
What's the world record for this, by the way?
1 hour and 23 seconds by me.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. I'm just checking that I got to. I'm really, even though I'm.
No one changed the game.
Oh, what am I doing? Oh god.
It's on Twitch.
Yeah. I always get paranoid that I haven't done it correctly. It's a little bit
Hey,
precise.
Looney Tunes Sheep Raider.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
supposed to be the American
Pretty much.
name of
That's
it.
the NA name.
Okay, alright.
NA name, NA game.
Okay, you ready on time?
I'm gonna remove. Yeah. Yes.
3, 2, 1, go. I got 3 letters first time, and now I crashed, so I got to do it again. Amazing.
Yeah, I absolutely was that.
And you have to game over again.
Yeah, I know, right?
Even worse.
What made you decide to start speedrunning this?
So when I was watching Awesome Games Done Quick this year, 2017, I really wanted to get back into speedrunning, to speedrun some other games, but I didn't want to get back into any of the games that I was doing before. And then I just remembered kind of out of nowhere that I'd played this game as a kid, and speedrunning a game that you already know because you played it before is a lot easier. Oh, that was a good example of the camera just span one like 90 degrees without me doing anything. It'll do that many times.
That's the RNG in this, right?
Yeah, there's actually a decent amount of RNG in the game. Really weird RNG though.
Jay, you might want to turn the audio down. I can.
So yeah, I looked up speedrunning for this game, and there was like basically only one runner that had like an okay run, and then I started running it and eventually beat his time, discovered some strats, and got the world record. There isn't really much competition for this game, honestly. I'm the only active runner. Yeah. Level 0 kind of makes me... Because every single time you reset, you have to do level 0. And level 0 is so simple that you would never reset on level 0. So you just have to do this level every single time. And so it's kind of monotonous. That's what happens if you sprint for too far.
Oh, so there's a penalty for...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You try and avoid it all the time, but...
Can you hear that beautiful noise?
Yeah,
We missed it last time.
Yeah.
the audio, it's like a 1 second audio loop. Like you can clearly hear when it loops. Like, it's so bad.
Yeah, 6 minutes slower.
Was there a reason you jumped there?
So I reckon it saves like a frame from, because I think you, oh, I didn't turn off autosave at the start. God damn it. So that's what happens if you don't turn off autosave at the end of every single level, which is quite a big time loss.
Well, at least now, like you said, you don't have to do level 0 if you crash.
Yeah, let's turn that off. I always forget where it is in the menu. Yeah. Yeah, so basically you want to sprint everywhere, but you have to be careful. Like here, I need to be careful not to sprint into Sam's area. So here, because it's orange, I need to be sneaking, but Sam's looking in a complete other direction, so I don't need to worry about like which way he's facing. But as soon as I'm in the green, in the top right, I can just run.
Are you allowed him to sprint in the green area?
Yeah, the green area is like completely safe. The green icon literally just exists to notify you, hey, you're close to the area. Oh crap. I've never done that before. Okay, here we go. So I always have to stand on the 5th rung of this ladder, like that, and then from there. And because there's like no reference points, you just have to completely wing it basically. I do it entirely off feel, where to put the lettuce. If you spread them too far apart, the sheep won't go from one lettuce to the other. If you put them too close, then the sheep won't get across in 3 lettuce. And we failed because the sheep didn't reach. So we just got to kill ourselves.
Reset.
Yeah. So normally I would reset, but instead we'll just do it with 4 lettuce.
You did this anyway before the time.
Yeah.
We know you can do it.
Yeah. We did it before.
Oh, because the sheep didn't eat those lettuce, they're still in your inventory.
Yeah. So, God, I've like never practiced doing it with 4 lettuce. It should be okay though. Question mark. It might not be okay. I haven't really thought about it. Let me put the sheep over here. If that isn't fine, I'll be pretty surprised.
I think you've already got that.
Oh crap. Oh, I already have the time bomb, it's fine.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh, if I was too close then. There we go. Pretty good. It saves a lot more time than you think doing a 3 lettuce. You save picking up the lettuce, placing the lettuce, and the biggest thing is the sheep takes less time to get across because it has to eat 1 less lettuce, and the sheep is really slow at eating lettuce. Okay, level 2 again. Cool. So because there's no loads in this game, I have to memorize which direction I'm going to move at the start of every level because there's no time to react because you are in control. Like basically there's a cutscene at the start of every single level. Hey, the camera didn't mess up this time. There's basically a cutscene at the start of every level and you can skip it the frame that this cutscene starts and then you are actionable like the frame after. So there's no time to react, you just kind of have to go immediately. This run is actually kind of like really intensive just on my like mentally and physically just because the first time there is even time to like take a drink is 40 minutes into the run. Because there's no loads and there's pretty much no unskippable cutscenes until right at the end of the game. So yeah, so we blow the perfume over to a sheep. And go over here. So hopefully the sheep doesn't get stuck. If you put the lettuce more to the right, the sheep is less likely to get stuck, but it looks like it'll be okay. No, it won't be okay. So a few times I've had the sheep actually fall down to the left, which is like pretty unbelievable. But it does happen very occasionally.
I imagine that's definitely a reset, right?
Yeah, if it was like a proper run, yeah. Actually, it's not. Actually, the time loss is really not that bad. It's probably like less than 5 seconds you lose. The first couple of levels are really optimized. Deaths are really what caused this game to like cause resets. Deaths are really easy to accidentally do and are really costly. Okay, we actually got into level 3. So this is one of the few strats that I actually found myself. You can totally just like sprint up here and dash cancel off that.
So that saves a platforming section.
Yeah, a very small platforming section, probably saves around 3 to 5 seconds. This is the last time we're going to be using the rocket. The collision here is really bad. Nice, we got straight through. If you actually aim just a little bit off, it just blocks you. So we've got a new item here, the elastic band, which we will use to fling a sheep across. So we're going to do an unintended strat here that's pretty precise, but it's generally pretty okay as long as you follow the instructions. So here I'm watching the icon on the top right, and as soon as it goes past, and I place the lettuce right on this corner, place the lettuce as soon as Sam sees me, I sprint away. Yeah, so I got it, nice. Basically, the sheep now is going to be lured out of Sam's area, and Sam doesn't really mind for some reason. But it's a really nice strat. That's found relatively more recently, one of the most recent strats, not by me though.
I noticed that you left behind an item, so you were able to pick up some dynamite, I think it was, and left that behind.
Oh yeah, that you only need that to get the bonus. And also got straight into the goal. That's quite difficult. I got it nice. So there's in every single level there's a bonus clock, which is just, it's like if you want to 100% the game, that's what you do, is you hit all the clocks, and you only need it to get that clock. We skipped loads of items just because we actually just skipped loads out. So this little section's got a really weird strat. So this this fish is going to attack me, and its hitbox is absolutely massive, so it's basically impossible to avoid, except vertically. So if you dive, even slightly, it always misses you. If I didn't dive, it would have hit me. Really weird, but I'm really glad that there's a consistent strat there for that. So this is probably one of the biggest reset heavy points in the run. The strats coming up are really quite difficult to do consistently, and it depends on a bit of Sam's AI. But it's usually fine unless you make a mistake. So we need the fan, so we're going to need to go get that. So if we just drop down like this, he shouldn't spot us, which he didn't. And then go over here, pick up the fan, get behind the rock in time, nice, and then go back again. Pick up the sheep, and then right as his head goes past, we walk. And then we do a bit of really nice AI manipulation here to trap Sam. So we need to get over to the docks. So if we walk over here, it like tricks him and he can't run down the ledge. It's really nice that little random bit of ledge that is there so that we can do that. The actual intended strat for that is completely different. You're supposed to go get a magic flute and lure him out and basically kill him, or well, disable him. There's also a really nice strat coming up now where you're supposed to sneak through a bunch of leaves with the sheep, but you can just run straight to the end. The bull is so slow to react that you can just get to the goal in time. So I died straight after I finished level, but it doesn't matter.
So how is it intended that you get past the shark?
Just swim like a much more complicated path. I took basically the quickest path, but slightly dove. You are actually supposed to swim through there, I believe. So now we're getting into those first few levels were definitely like the easiest, quickest levels. The levels like really ramp up in difficulty. There's a load of really inconsistent strats coming up. So there's a weird dash cancel there. That's like completely unique that happens. I don't know why. So we need to get Sam here, and hopefully he gets caught for quite a long amount of time. He did, nice. And then this is completely unintended. You're supposed to get the flute, the same flute you're supposed to get in the previous level, and lure him away. And then I'm going to wait for these bombs. So how the bombs work is, if you touch the blue circles, you die. But the hitbox of the blue circles is way bigger than it looks. We're going to go for this one. Nice. So you can disarm bombs, which is the intended strat, but it's really slow. So we're gonna not do that. And by standing right on the edge and placing the sheep right in the corner, it won't get hit. So I'm glad not to die there. It's super easy to die. Here we just place the lettuce right here. So this is actually the intended strat. So during this run we're going to be just constantly mixing up between like intended strats, unintended strats, and straight up glitches. This is intended. So as soon as the sheep starts moving, I can just run over and grab the sheep. I accidentally grab the lettuce, but only loses like a second. So here I'm going to aggressively move the camera to like point in a completely different direction, because otherwise it'll get stuck on a bit of geometry, which makes the next bit really difficult. So that's why I'm moving it like that. So this is a catapult. There's a few catapults in the game. We're just going to basically guess how powerful it needs to be. I was a little bit strong. But we also need to get ourselves over to the goal, so we'll use the test sheep. Now if you do it just right, the level ends immediately, but I have to move the sheep slightly, because I was slightly too strong. That was quite a good level 5, because I didn't die at the start, all 20 bombs. Level 6 is another snow level. Oh, you're going to say something.
I was going to ask if because you mentioned you need to avoid the blue circles. Are the bombs themselves hazardous, or is it just the blue circles?
Just the blue circles, I believe. So, but honestly, I stay away from them.
Well, fair enough. Given that's where the blue circles spawn,
yeah,
you want a bit of
exactly,
leeway.
yeah.
The big
So,
hitboxes, as you mentioned.
yeah, this is one of the hardest jumps in the run, but I have a setup. If I just hold right here, it should set me up perfectly to do it nice. That's not intended. So here the camera always does this for some reason. So right now we're walking in a minefield. If you don't like being made to jump, if I hit a bomb, it makes me jump every time, but usually I don't. So we got a sheep costume, and now this is one of the weirdest sheep steals in the game. So basically I have to bar at a sheep and then it follows me, but the leniency on Sam looking at you is way less than it normally is. So it might look like I'm playing it ridiculously safe by waiting a lot, like right now, but I'm actually not, because if Sam sees either me or the sheep move even slightly, then he'll come grab us and we'll lose loads of time. So that was actually really close. I actually very almost got grabbed. Yeah, so the minefield, by the way, you're not supposed to just guess like I did. You have to go through a whole really long section to get a mine detector so that you can see where the mines are.
But they're always the same pattern. So
yeah, there's no randomness to it. But you kind of have to memorize where they are, and it's actually weirdly precise. So this last section is a puzzle section, and it has particularly bad camera movements. In fact, I'm going to show something off where 100% of the time the camera like completely screws itself. There's actually a strat to avoid it not happening, but I'm going to show what it looks like when you don't do the strat, just because it's so ridiculous. So if I just go, oh, I want to push this ice block. Oh, excellent. Like, it just completely wedges itself and then just goes out of bounds there as well. You can just jump over this. So it's really easy to die here because, so your movement is entirely based on the camera. So you press up, you go up based on the camera. Oh, I didn't bar a sheep. So when the camera moves when you hit this button, it can make you immediately walk off the button, which will then drop on the sheep, and if the sheep dies, it's game over. So that's super lame. This is kind of annoying puzzle section because the camera is constantly spinning round, and it can do all kinds of weird things. But it seems like we're okay. Yeah, so we just have to push it and open at the same time. So as you can probably see, I'm actually doing like puzzles, which like on a casual playthrough you have to like sit and think about, oh, what am I supposed to do? The camera just did a 360 for no reason. 360 camera. But you kind of just have to learn the strats to do them as quickly as possible.
Nice.
So next is level 7, which is probably my least favorite level of speedrun because the first 15 seconds have some really weird bugs that seem entirely RNG. So I might there's a cycle later in the level I have to hit, otherwise I lose loads of time. So I'm gonna actually reset if I get weird buggy RNG. I didn't skip the cutscene very quickly, which might be really bad. But it actually looks like I'll be okay. Yeah, so I actually got it first time. That might have looked really simple, but there's all those platforms I just walked across sometimes cancel your dash for no reason. So this is the hardest jump in the game. It's completely unintended, but you can stand on the corner of this crane and do it. First time, nice. Dash cancel on this. So now I'm basically against the clock to try and get a cycle. But because I did the crane jump first time, I should be like easily in time to hit the cycle. There's a really nice strat where if I go into a particular corner, then it will mean that Sam doesn't chase me and I get sucked into the thing that I need to get sucked into immediately, which is really nice and consistent. So yeah, I hit the cycles. This is actually like an exceptional level 7 so far. I need to drop the sheep into the water here, and it's weirdly precise. Yeah, sometimes the sheep just doesn't fall and just gets stuck on like an invisible floor. So now we're waiting for the sheep to get pulled out by the crane. So we're going to set up the next part of the level while we do that. So this is actually like, we can go basically as slow as we want on this section. Well, not as slow as we want, but if we were a few seconds slow, it wouldn't matter at all. Yeah, so we have to wait here anyway, and then we get rid of the sheep. Pick up the sheep. And then we do the final puzzle of the level, which we've already set up the solution for. Basically, the sheep has to go across all of those while we move this rock. Like, most of the puzzles in the game I'm not going to explain, like, how I'm actually doing them. You can kind of try and figure out, like, what I'm doing and why it worked as you go. But some of the puzzles later on are really quite complicated. So it's kind of hard to explain. This game is very difficult casually. I've never met anybody that actually completed the game without a guide casually.
Yeah, I got stuck on a level with caverns in it or something.
Yeah, like, especially the very end of the game is extremely difficult. The intended strats are, I can't imagine how anyone would figure it out. It's so unbelievable. Right, so level 8. So we're going into the level where we're time warping. So this is the level we set up before. So this is the level that I've contributed to the most. I've actually contributed a bunch of strats which actually save like 2 minutes in this level, but they're kind of inconsistent. They're consistent, but if you mess them up, the whole level is messed up. So I pretty much will just reset if I mess something up.
Oh, this is where you did the time skip thing.
Oh, so that's actually really bad. I'm trying to hit a cycle on Sam's like vision about 20 seconds into the level, and if I miss this boulder jump, then there we go. So that's unintended. You're supposed to jump a different way. It will mess up all my timings, so it's much more consistent to just reset. So we're going to do, this is completely unintended, we're going to walk right in front of Sam, activate the timer, and then we have to spend a very precise amount of time over here. So I have a setup for it, and hopefully we should be able to grab the sheep and walk straight past Sam, no problem. But sometimes Sam can see you, so yeah, we got it, nice. I'm really happy to get that. Yeah, if Sam sees you, the level goes to rubbish very, very quickly. So you're supposed to kill the dragon by taking it to Sam, but the dragon actually can't catch you. Like, he keeps trying to breathe fire, but I keep moving away so he can't hit me. There's about a 20% chance also here that I'll get hit by those lava plumes, which actually loses a lot of time. But I didn't, which is good RNG. So that's one of the examples of RNG. Also, I death warp there because for some reason it remembers the rock location. It's the only time in the game we do a death warp. Yeah, as I can say, there's just so many strats to explain, like, all the time. So there's a bull guarding the goal, so we need to get rid of the bull, and the way we do that is we lure a character called Gossamer, who we'll be seeing more of in a later level, into the present, and because he's bright red, and bulls obviously aren't a big fan of red things, apparently, they kind of have a fight. Well, it's not so much of a fight. Wait, did that not work? I can't hear the audio cue? Oh, so, yes. Normally you can hear him, like them running around in circles, but for some reason I couldn't hear it. I blame these headphones.
So there's somebody called somebody.
Yeah. So that's yeah. Sorry.
Somebody's saying you should do Sheepless Gossamer later.
Oh
In
yes.
relation to Gossamer. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So I'll talk about Sheepless Gossamer in level 10. Yeah. Remind me if I don't talk about it. Yeah, so that level is actually way longer than it should be. There. So now it's level 9. Level 9 is probably the last easy level. It's pretty straightforward. As long as you take your time on these bombs. It's possible to YOLO these bombs, but the timings are actually really harsh. And you only lose about half a second by pausing like that most of the time. So again, we're going to use the elastic band here in this level. So there's a crocodile here, which hopefully won't kill me, but it has killed me a couple of times. There we go, we're fine. So here we're going to walk just straight through some bombs that have a 0-second timer, but they don't usually kill you. Then they're pretty lenient.
Pretty lenient 0 seconds.
Yeah. So here we're going to use a brand new item that's pretty cool. It's the remote control that controls. Ooh, there we go. Controls the remote control robot that we're going to use to distract Sam. We'll see a whole load of use for this later on in later levels. Oh, there we go. So we're going to place the sheep where we're going to pick it up later on. I knew I pressed circle too many times there. Oh, I always get the wrong item there. The order that items appear in your inventory is like fixed, but like arbitrary for each level. And we missed the sheep. We missed the sheep again. I don't normally miss this. Oh, god damn it! Okay, I very rarely miss that even once, so to miss that 3 times, but it's fine. Okay, so this is where all the incredibly hard levels start. So level 10 has a really difficult, well, quite a difficult puzzle section, followed immediately by a boss fight, which is Gossamer. But so there are only, I think, 15 or 16 levels in the game, depending on how you count it. But we're actually not even halfway through the run because the starting levels are so much shorter than the later levels. So the first half of this level is kind of cycle based, and we need to position a bunch of cannons to do what we want. So basically, how the cannons will shoot us if we go in front of them and are not in the shadow. So we have to be in the shadow or not be in front of them.
When they shoot at you, are you able to avoid that? Or?
No, if they shoot at you, you're dead. It starts a cutscene that kills you. So here, because I'm playing in 16:3, I have to walk off screen, so I can't see what I'm doing. But I have like reference points to know when to do what.
Oh, because the screen follows you around.
Yeah.
4-3 Master Race.
I know, right? This game is designed to play in 4:3. It's kind of the opposite of what you have. So here, that was very close, but that was fine. If you're really unlucky, the cannon can get in the way here, which happens. Weirdly, that doesn't actually lose any time because on a later cycle, we'll gain all that time back, assuming that we don't make any mistakes. Because of like the way this game is very cycle-based, often based on like Sam's head movement, you often either lose a lot of time or no time at all on mistakes.
I need to remind you to place the honey.
Yes. In a second, so the honey I picked at the very start level I have to place. Basically, I am going to get the bees to attack Sam so that I can steal his sheep. So I need to get honey right in front of Sam. So here, we should be good. Yeah, so this is the place where I would have lost a bunch of time having to wait for a cycle, but I was pretty fast because I lost time before. So I don't think we've actually lost any time on this level. So here I have like a setup for when to push because I need to push this next L piece quite a precise amount. So whenever the cutscenes, when the camera stops moving and then a little tiny bit, so that should be perfectly placed, even though it was off screen. So now I'm going to place the honey and then catapult it onto Sam. So the only thing left to do is to hit the beehive that's right next to Sam. So I have to do kind of a precise cannon shot. Hopefully we get that straight away. Excellent.
So it's quite a long cutscene, so if you miss, you've got to push it again.
Exactly, yeah, which loses a lot of time. So now I need to get over there. I'm gonna take a really wide berth to stop the camera from spinning around, which is really annoying. So we've done the first half of this level. So now we're gonna do the boss fight, and this is where you can do Sheepless Gossamer. Sheepless Gossamer basically is a very, very difficult and RNG dependent strat that saves 30 seconds boss fight that has never been done in a run for this game. I have done it twice ever in practice, and we'll go for it once. Nice camera, by the way. Basically, it's called Sheepless because we don't need the sheep to do it. I actually haven't really practiced it because I haven't had time to practice it today. So I would say my chances of getting this are way less than 1%. But basically, we need to convince Gossamer. So I died because your positioning has to be basically pixel perfect on Gossamer's positioning, otherwise you die. And that was by far the easiest section, and I can't see because of the camera. Yeah, so that's just the camera killing me there. We're going to do it the intended strat now. So I won't go into the details of Gossamer's AI, but there is no RNG, but he basically tries to do the thing that will screw you up the most. That's the TLDR of his AI. The shockwaves have a much higher hitbox than they look, and if you get hit by a shockwave at a bad time, you generally die immediately, and a death in this fight can easily cost a minute.
It's like the mines.
Yeah. So this was the part of the game that I got stuck on as a kid. I never figured that you can dash around him. It turns out that if you dash anti-clockwise, then it works every time. If you dash clockwise, it just doesn't work most of the time. Basically, Gossamer doesn't like the light, so we just unleash the light on him. This last cycle is the hardest because it's really easy to get hit by a shockwave. But so there I started sprinting slightly too early, which causes him to immediately shockwave, which can kill you if you're not ready for it. Yeah. So in order to do Sheepless Gossamer, we have to lure Gossamer onto the button 3 times in a row and not get pushed off, which is extremely difficult. And even then, there's about a 7 in 8 chance, so about an 80 to 85% chance that he just walks off the button for no reason and kills you. So even if you are like task perfect at doing Sheepless Gossamer, it will fail 85% of the time.
So what's the TAS record for this?
There hasn't been a task made of this game. Not enough people run it.
Yeah.
That would be cool though. My sum of best is just under 59 minutes. That's without Sheepless though.
Yeah. There's only like you and 1 or 2 other people, aren't there?
There's only one other runner that's put significant time into it. There are like 2 other runs on the leaderboard, but that
Your world record at the moment.
Yeah.
Just over an hour.
Yeah, an hour and like 23 or 27 seconds. Super annoyingly, if I actually missed a skip, which cost me 35 seconds, and if I'd got that, I would have got sub 1 hour. Okay, this is a level 11. This level is incredibly complicated, and if I'm being honest, for the second half of this level, I might just not talk, because otherwise I'll lose so much time. You have to do many, many complicated things in a row. because these are where the puzzles get really complicated. So just remembering what to do is difficult, but remembering all of the safety strats, ways in which I'm going to make sure the camera doesn't screw me up, is quite complicated. But the start of this level is not too bad, but it's definitely one of my least favourite levels to do. So this is the only level where we're going to have to do menuing. The menu is incredibly horrible in this game. You have to wait for the cursor to move before you can do another input, otherwise it drops your input. And also, sometimes when you combine things, it just doesn't combine. So what I'm doing in the menu is combine the fishing rod with the magnet so that I can solve a puzzle. So here I'm going to go for a strat that it's not frame perfect, but it's very precise, and my strategy is to mash the buttons. And we got it first time. Basically, you might have seen that mine was very, very close to blowing up on me, literally frames away. You have to basically pick up the letters as fast as possible. And I think you can slightly buffer it by mashing the button, which is what I do, but you have to mash it like very fast. And I am forgetting to menu. Yeah, so those menus were kind of slow, but they're actually not as slow as they look.
Because they could be quite slow anyway, just because.
Yeah. Also, for some reason, when you press A on things, sometimes it just drops your input. I don't know why. So once I pick up the sheep, that's when the hard part of the level begins. And so I'm just going to be silent. You guys can like talk about whatever you want. I'm just going to phase out. I mess up even when I'm like 100% concentrating. I just forget things. So I'm just going to completely zone into the game. And try and keep track of how I'm solving the puzzles. Spoiler, it's quite complicated.
I don't think we've seen the level I think I got stuck on, so presumably I got past this one. I'm not sure how.
Oh, I accidentally pulled out the fishing rod.
I get that because I don't remember this level at all. Later levels, but I do remember.
Yeah, maybe it was a demo. I don't know.
We're gonna pick up the remote again.
There's a lot of really cheap style new one as you come through. I think that's why I liked it so much as a kid.
The animation.
Yeah.
But I can only drive while blindfolded.
I think the PS1 polygons when you add to the charm.
Him playing Mania with only flashlight, it's like SpongeBob driving only one. That's what the song is. I will do this. Cross it out. Please get a couple of culture.
Okay, it's going well so far. They've made minor mistakes, but I haven't forgotten anything, and the camera didn't get stuck, which happens a lot. The camera gets stuck in these archways a lot. You can sprint on these, but it kind of adds to the complication because you have to do a lot more precise timing. I'll do it here.
All it says is
Oh, that was closer than I wanted it to be. Yeah, if the robot dies, we die. So. This is another example of 16:9 resulting in the screen cutting off. So you can't actually see where you go up here. Oh. That's a mistake, but it's okay. Okay, we're getting towards the end now, so I think I've got like everything I need to do in my brain now, so I can talk again.
Who's saying not 4x3?
Is this all like the intended strat?
Yeah, I believe practically everything I did was intended strats, just done quickly
Yeah.
and optimally. Yeah, that's right on the edge, but don't worry about it, it's fine.
Making me nervous.
Yeah. So pretty much everything I had to do, you have to work out yourself. Okay, so that was actually a pretty good level 11. I would be happy that in a run. So next is a really unique level coming up, level 12, the Ghost level. Loads of unique mechanics happening, including one you'll really like, Luke, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but this is why I asked about having the keys map.
Oh, right, yes. That's right, yeah, it uses the icons, but the colours are the same.
I just couldn't work out how you remembered what.
So there's another example of RNG coming up at the start of this level. The start of this level is on a little bit of a cycle, so it doesn't matter if we go a little bit slow, because we have to wait for this ghost. But basically there's a ghost which moves randomly, and he can save or lose you quite a bit of time. In practice, I've seen him do a movement which actually saves loads of time, but he didn't do it there. And he hardly ever does it. So that's RNG Ghost, the one we're following now. Okay. We've slightly messed up by not picking up a battery, which might be really bad. Okay, yeah, we're fine. You need to pick up 5 batteries to be able to suck in air.
And you can't have a buffer of batteries.
Yes.
You can only pick up 5.
Once you picked up 5, you can't. So this is like where RNG Ghost could screw me. It's on the right side, so that's okay. You can sprint through these, but it's incredibly difficult to not hit the walls, so it's really not worth it. So now we have a ghost costume, we can walk straight through ghosts without us killing them. So when I'm wearing the ghost costume, he's carrying a black ball. I have absolutely no idea what it is. If anybody has a theory for what that black ball is, like, tell me. Like, why is he carrying it? What is it?
It'll be a reference to the cartoons, I imagine.
Yeah, it might be.
The only thing I can think of is if it was like a ghost with a ball and chain type of deal.
Yeah, maybe.
If you're thinking of traditional ghost.
Yeah, like Christmas Carol.
Yes.
So and now for DDR. So this is actually harder than it looks because the leniency is only one way. By what I mean is that if you are a frame too early, you fail, but if you can be quite late on every import. So you have to train yourself to press all the buttons late, which is really weird if you're used to playing regular video games where you try to do it on time.
Yeah.
So you can see the buttons actually represent what they do, because I'm playing on PC, so I could remap the buttons to whatever I want.
Now that I know that the colours match up, I
Yeah, the colours match up, so it's okay.
understand how this is even possible.
If you miss a single input, you have to do that section again, so you lose quite a lot of time. This is probably a good time to bring up that I am not playing as Wile E. Coyote, the Looney Tunes character you might be familiar with. I'm actually playing as Ralph. Something else going on over there. I'm actually playing as Ralph the Wolf, who is also a Looney Tunes character that looks very similar, apart from they're a wolf, not... Oh! That's what I get for talking and doing it. Okay. I actually haven't failed this in a long time. Yeah, so I'm actually playing as Ralph, but if you notice I have a red nose. Wile E. Coyote does not have a red nose. And also I'm a wolf that steals sheep.
Instead of chasing Roadrunner.
Yeah.
Although
Also, oh yeah, go on.
Roadrunner did appear in this game, right in level 0.
How did this game even get made? Really obscure Looney Tunes characters for kids, but really, really complicated puzzles.
Yeah, it's just like one of those classic... Where's the remote? The remote is that way. Yeah, it's a really crazy game. I've never seen any other games anything like it. Like a puzzle platformer, like, but really not. Like,
If it was like a 90s PC point-and-click puzzle game, then I'd understand why it was so complicated.
so if I go into the spotlight, I die, and the spotlight is trolling me quite hard right now.
Is that moving randomly, or is that because you failed the ghost?
I believe it's because I failed the ghost. It's not random. One of the many things that's like on a fixed cycle.
Yeah.
So here right now is a completely unintended but really nice strat. It saves loads of time. If we can convince the sheep to fall down, which we did, it skips out a whole puzzle with like all these platforms and gates on the left hand side. It's actually really complicated, and it's one of those things where casually really difficult to figure out. Before I started speedrunning this game, I tried to beat the game casually. Just, as like a refresher from when I was a kid. And this is one of the puzzles I had to look up a guide, because it's really not obvious what you're supposed to do. So I'm trying to carry the sheep out, but the ghosts are having none of that. So they've stolen my costume, I'm a sheep, and they're going to lock me up in jail. This is the first time in the entire run you can actually put the controller down for 5 seconds.
Like 20 minutes?
Like 25 minutes.
25.
And as soon as I get dropped into jail, I instantly have control, which I find kind of funny, because it's like, go! It's just weird to me. There's a little robot section, which is actually quite fun. So, kind of feels like playing a racing game, because it kind of drifts when you turn. So there's kind of a horrible section coming up now. So after we unlock the cage. Yeah, sometimes the camera just looks at the ground right now, but it's being nice, which is good. We need to place the robot for later on. So this is really quite an annoying stealth section that's completely unique mechanics. Basically, orange means that I could be seen. Green means that I couldn't. So the first bit I just did is by far the sketchiest part. But weirdly, if I'm in the shade, they can't see me, but they also can't hear me, which doesn't really make any sense. We're gonna trick them by replacing the real sheep with an inflatable sheep, but we need to time when we spin the thing round.
Oh, because they're worshipping the real sheep.
Exactly.
Do we know why?
They just really like sheep. They have a pedestal with a sheep on it. So the camera always spins, 90 degrees right now? Oh, it didn't. That's the first time I've ever seen it not do it. Which will kill you if you just walk forwards and are not paying attention.
I always assumed that they thought it was their god or something.
I accidentally placed the robot on the button, which I didn't mean to do. But that's fine.
Yeah, so that last puzzle is a lot harder because you're not told whether they're looking at you. You're just told whether they're looking down or up.
Yeah, it's really weird. Okay, so that was level 12. So level 13, this is probably... So the last two levels casually are very complicated. However, level 14, we have a strat which makes the level one of the shortest levels in the game. But level 13 is still quite difficult, and there's quite a difficult setup strat that we're going to do. But as long as we don't make any mistakes, it should be fine. This is when I was referring to like strats being like, how the hell is even a kid or anybody supposed to work out the intended strat? The intended strat for this level is so complicated that I couldn't hope to explain it to you in this speedrun. I think that's about right. I haven't actually memorized exactly when. There we go. Where it needs to be. But it's fairly lenient. We got it dead on. We need to get rid of the croc so that we can bounce on it to get the fun. So there are 3 post boxes at the start. One of them is to get a mine detector, which we don't need because I've just memorized where the mines are. It's more difficult, this mine section though. Oh! Okay, that was kind of bad. That's fine though. It's quite difficult to have reference points because it's just like blank
Same.
space.
Yeah.
But the shadows are actually like ingrained into the ground, and so I use the shadows as reference points, but it can be a little bit imprecise. So hopefully,
Predictable sheep presses down the button, makes sense.
yeah. Okay, so this is the because we died, we're actually off. Because we died, we're actually on a really bad cycle. So we basically missed a cycle because of it, which has just lost us loads of time, unfortunately.
Be able to tell me like when you're in 2 minutes to finish it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can, yeah.
I'll just tell him when the
Yeah, so basically Sam moves the sheep between the back area and the front area. We can't go into the area when he's in the front area, so normally he's in the back area when you arrive if you don't die up to this point, but we died unfortunately. And he spends, I think, 30 seconds in each area, so it's quite a big time loss. That's a good example of what I was talking about before, where like if tiny mistakes often make no difference because it's cycle based, but then other mistakes can cause large time losses. Okay. I'm just making sure I remembered what we need to do. So the only hard part of this strategy is we need to lure Sam out like quite far, but not too far, but not too little. And if we die, it'll be a massive time loss. But hopefully we should get it straight away. As long as the camera doesn't mess me up, I'm feeling good about it. That was way too short. That's really bad.
Ooh!
Yeah, that was way too short, and so I tried to save it.
You got caught on a sheep.
But it was no good.
That animation brought back memories.
Yeah. This is the part of the level where I was talking about the intended strat is really complicated. You basically have to put the inflatable sheep on this platform on the right and then lower it, because Sam's AI is completely different in this level than any other level. There's a sign that tries to explain it. Okay. Okay, that was good. It looked like it was really close, but if it's really close, that means that you did it well. So now Sam is like, oh, I don't care what my sheep is doing.
He's got to get back to his sheep.
Yeah, yeah. So we just totally juke him and get past. That is a really nice strat. If we were to do that the intended way, it would definitely lose a lot of time.
I like to think that he remembers putting 2 sheep there, and this is only 1 sheep that's wandering off. So you've got to prioritise.
Yeah. So Sam, who is a different Sam. You know Sam, the I forget his name in the Looney
Yosemite
Tunes.
Sam.
Samity Sam, yeah.
Yosemite.
Yes, Yosemite Sam or something. He's shooting at us. You never get hit. He's not a very good shot.
It is spelled Yosemite, yes. It's,
But now, yeah. Oh,
it's a
sorry.
national park, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
Is that the one where there's a super dog? Is that the one?
No, that's
That's
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
Area.
Which one's Yosemite then?
I don't know. He's in Arizona, maybe?
So here we're going to do 2 strats in rapid succession. First will be, you're supposed to lure Sam into this jail and lock him in. But it turns out, if we just lure him slightly out of his location, we can then just run to the goal in time. But then we're going to try and skip a 35-second cutscene, which involves dying. Oh crap. At the same time as beating the level. I have a setup for it. If we don't get it, it'll be a shame. But hopefully we do get it. So we have to trigger this cutscene first. And then walk forward, place this. Okay. The level ends when I hit the cannon. Oh, the camera's being awful. Crap, this is not good. So I need to get Yosemite Sam to come over to me and hopefully not kill me immediately. He's not being very nice right now. He can insta-kill me if I get too close to him. I don't know why he's not walking. There we go! Got it, nice.
Oh, nice.
So it's quite difficult because if you are too close to him, he spins around and shoots you immediately, and you have no time to react. If you can aggro him to move slightly and then shoot you, that's the trigger for activating the end of the level, then he kills you. But how do you actually get to aggro him is, I haven't quite fully figured out how to do that consistently yet.
It looked like the big board said you had 3 sheep left. But as far as I could tell, Sam only has 1 left. Do you not have to get that down to 1? Or?
There are 2 bonus levels that we're not doing, which you just don't need to do. So this is level 14. This level casually is extremely long, and it actually involves Roadrunner. You have to race Roadrunner, do loads of stuff, ride the train all over the place. But there's a really good strat which just basically skips the entire level, and I have absolutely no idea why it works. But it's amazing that it does.
Is that owed to the previous, the other runner, or is that?
The vast majority of these strats are found, I think, by actually Quellas, who's the name of the person who's the other runner for this game. I don't know why I pushed that rock. There was no reason to do it, but we're on an auto scroller right now, so it doesn't matter. We have to wait for that timer to go down at the bottom. So yeah, Quellas found most of the strats, but there was also ILs done like years and years ago that found a lot of the strats as well. The ILs were actually done on PlayStation 1 though, and there's like 2 strats in the game which are PlayStation 1 only, but the game overall is much faster on PC because no loads.
Yeah.
If you jump too early into the train, you die, so I do not risk
Just
it.
cutscene death.
Yeah, cutscene death. So now that we've done the auto-scroller part, we can basically do this strat to end the level. So for some reason, if I get in a sheep costume, stand in a precise spot, right here, which I'm not even in Sam's area, he starts following me, and then when I bar, oh crap, this isn't good. Oh! I've actually not seen that before. Oh crap, this is really... I might be able to... I've actually, in all of my practices, I've never had this strat fail.
This has never happened before.
Yeah. I always knew that it could... Oh, what? The train didn't stop. Oh, this is like massive time loss. You're supposed to... Well, I was right near the end of finishing the level. When you bar at the sheep, he looks at the sheep, and for some reason he looked at the sheep for way less time than usual. That really sucks. But we still have the sheep costume, so once we're back over, we can try again.
Yeah.
Oh god, I almost missed my stop because I'm not used to going to that stop from there. Okay, I'll try and be really careful this time. I was just not careful before because I've literally never seen it happen. Yeah, so that's what's supposed to happen, and he gives you quite a lot of room to get away.
So you just race into the goal.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened. So, the ending to the level is kind of funny. As soon as you and Sheep are in the goal, the level ends. And Sam's like, wait a second. Okay, so the game for some reason asked do you want to save it? We just say no. And now it's a 3.5 minute unskippable cutscene.
Oh, time for a drink.
Yeah. If we could find a skip for this cutscene, it would be pretty incredible, but thank God it's at least at the end of the game.
You are an exceptional contestant. Unfortunately, our show is nearly over. Thanks to all my fans out there for staying with us.
It's really unnecessarily long as well.
Just pad it out.
Yeah. The basic gist of it is, remember the sheep? So we blasted a sheep into a cannon, and in a cutscene that we skipped, it explained that we blasted the sheep into space through the sail, which was on the goal, and that technically counted. And that sheep ended up on Mars, and then caused the catastrophe which is about to explain, where loads of his instant Martians escaped, as we'll
I
see.
was just getting ready to test my
Instant
latest
Martians
weapon.
just add water.
Minus 200. A very
Exactly.
practical tool
Instant
which
Martians
reduces
just add
any
water.
living species to 1/10 of its normal size. For the experiment, I enlisted the help of a devoted member of my army. I was just about ready to test my invention when suddenly an invader smashed
So
into
when he's
my
done
water
explaining
tank
what
at
happened,
full speed, and the whole
he,
tank collapsed all over the army.
yes.
Just so you know, James is going nuts in chat.
Is he sick?
The accursed
Shout out to
invader
James
looks
for
like
watching
a
my streams, and Harry.
I'll put chat on TikTok behind you and see the
Yeah. So basically,
I think it's James anyway.
10 of those Martians escaped, and we need to round them up. So we're actually not getting a sheep on the last
after
level.
a super Martian effort and the help of my fantastic PR
The level is,
200,
so there's basically
I
10
managed to
little
get
mini
back
puzzles
most of
to
my
get 10 of the
army.
Martians.
Isn't that
And it's by far the most
delightful?
difficult level in the
Wait,
game.
I haven't finished yet.
It's really easy to
My
die,
army is
mess up,
still
lose loads of time.
incomplete. A somewhat rebellious
Oh, it's
unit has
Harry.
gotten
It's
themselves
Harry.
into
Oh,
a sticky
Elksar.
situation.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Harry.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
risky to get
Harry,
them
why
out.
aren't you here, man?
I,
Harry,
Marvin the Martian,
you needed to be on my
don't
couch.
plan on taking any unnecessary risks. It's up to you to repair the damage now by returning to
So an
me
interesting
my
thing is this
lost
cutscene clearly was
instant
changed late in
Martians.
development because he tells his dog to sit here.
Well, Canine, sit, boy.
You
Well,
can view the chat behind you.
he doesn't sit, he just grabs us. So I'd imagine this cutscene was skipped, but the VO, the cutscene was changed, but the VO was kept.
Yeah.
I was going to say, why is it our job, but we've been kidnapped?
Yeah, we've been kidnapped. So. Okay, so we're about 15 seconds from the level starting. No, probably less now. So I'm pretty much not going to speak that much during this level because it's just so difficult. I might say the odd thing.
How long is it?
Like 6 minutes or something. So basically, we have to place this little thing, on those silver squares. God damn it. And then push the Martians into them. However, the things do have a hitbox, which lasts for way longer than it looks, and if you touch them, you die. Which is why that I'm going to wait like a good 1 or 2 seconds after crabbing every Martian.
No, so if you run into it, then that's right at the end of the puzzle, and you've got to go right to the start of the puzzle.
Yep, exactly.
Oh yeah, absolutely people. And 3 platforms.
So most of the things in this level I'll be doing the intended strats. This is all intended strats. Very almost missed that in. So this next section is like just a straight up button puzzle. And it's actually quite complicated. But I think I've memorized the order that you need to do everything. This level also introduces a new mechanic of going small.
Well, of course, it's a great idea. Introduce a new
Yeah,
mechanic in the
last
last
level.
level of the game.
Well, there's a whole load of new mechanics.
But
Oh,
it doesn't
crap.
make it better.
No, yeah.
Oh. So now instead of you chasing it, it chases
Oh,
you.
that's fine, that's fine. Yeah, that was right. Yep. Yes, when you're small, it chases you. And it kills you if it reaches you, obviously.
Obviously.
So I got that straight away, which makes me happy, because I forget how to do that puzzle quite a lot. It's actually quite convoluted. We need to go small. I think we don't want to hit. The Martians can also hit the buttons, which is occasionally useful and occasionally super annoying. Like there. Nice, we got him. I could sprint here, but it's so easy to just go off the end and die. I'm not going to bother in a marathon. So here is totally unintended strats. It turns out if you stand on anything raised up, you can just jump straight over these things, which I assume saves a lot of time. I don't remember the intended strats.
They seem to run away from you in a really odd way.
They do. So the best I can describe it is every like half of a second, they check like what direction you are in and then run away from you in that direction. But they don't check like all the time, as you've noticed. It's like every half second.
Which is why they bounce off walls.
They also bounce off walls, like literally bounce. Like that's not them running away from you. That's literally just sure. Okay, we did that.
Categories for this game.
There is 100%, which I haven't run yet. It's really unoptimized, but where you do both bonus levels and you get all the clocks. So this section is super annoying. So basically, I can't show you, but we're currently in 0 gravity. So if I jump, I just float into space and die, basically. And you can get stuck on these rocks, and since you can't jump to get off, you can get kind of stuck, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Like this. There we go. The main thing is not to panic and jump. That's how you lose like 2 minutes.
I keep on thinking, why aren't you jumping? It's difficult.
Yeah. It's quite difficult to get in the mindset of never jumping.
To unlearn.
Despite it being 0 gravity, you still can go down ramps.
Yes. The fact it's in 0 gravity is slightly useful. We can do a little skip here. So that's what 0 gravity looks like if you jump.
Oh, you leave, so you just left at 0 gravity and fell back down again?
Yeah.
So like
because there are lines on the ground which determine where and where isn't 0 gravity. Like inside those squares is 0 gravity, outside isn't. Don't worry about it, it's Looney Tunes. So this is the absolute very last thing in the game coming up, and it is by far the worst thing in the entire game.
Oh, wow.
It is black holes, and it's awful. Basically, they suck you towards them, and you have to use it to get down, but if you touch them, you die. And they suck you in such a random, uncontrollable way. It might look like I'm slightly in control, like maybe you think that my character is facing the direction I'm pressing. None of these things are the case.
Also, they appear to be 2D objects in 3D space.
There we go. So that was actually okay. This part is also kind of horrible, but as long as we don't die or anything, it'll be okay. Okay, that was good. Okay, the Martian got stuck in the corner. That's really good. Sometimes it runs all over the place. So that was really good black holes. I did not convince you at all about how terrible they are. They are very.
I was watching your inputs.
Yeah.
So I can understand to some extent.
Yeah. So we are basically done with the game now, Jay. But there is like a 1 minute cutscene, but be ready on time.
Tell me when the cutscene's finished.
And when the cutscene finishes, he's got to do something.
When the cutscene
Yeah.
finishes.
Okay, so we're basically done with the game now, but we have to do a tiny thing before time ends. So that was a really good Planet X.
What's the indicator?
The indicator is I will grab a sheep, and then I will, as soon as I walk into the goal with the sheep. So that was an incredibly good Planet X. Like, that's probably better than my PB on Planet X. There's no deaths, no major mistakes. I can't think of any, and sometimes I forget. So basically, the Martians dropped him off back at home with the black sheep. And what else would you want to do other than put the sheep in the goal, right? Right, time in like 5 seconds. And time.
Hey.
There you go, that's Sheepdog Wolf, 20%.
107 on the money.
That's okay.
Wait, what?
It's Looney Tunes. 107 is okay, considering that I messed up 3 letters right at the start and had to basically redo a whole big section that probably cost me like over a minute. It's
It was all a dream.
yeah. What a great story. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Next we've got Binding of Isaac Afterbirth plus 1 character run. That'll be great. So thanks for watching, guys. See you later. What did you think?
Pretty good, yeah. Is it on Steam?
No. Yeah.
It'll be. Oh, I'll be more time.
It's quite easy.
It'll be a 10.
I'll look it up.
Oh, and we're Twitch chat now.
It means that the record lifetime set is for like 1 character run. So you go from that.
Fun time.
No, it's just.
So we've got testimony.
Yeah.
Beat chest box
Planet X at the end.
Shout out to Harry for making Twitch chat exciting. Thanks, Harry.
For being Twitch chat, the entire
Yeah.
series.
This game came out after Half-Life, right?
Before?
Oh, it was before.
I know, I'm not sure.
No, I think when did Half-Life come out?
Well,
Was it in the 90s?
yeah, it was 90 something, so yeah. Might be a Zen reference, probably.
Oh, yeah.
What reference was? Is it a reference to Zen, maybe? With the Planet X? Fair enough.
No, Planet X is Looney Tunes since forever.
Yeah. But it's right at the end and it's just sort of random visits to Alien World. Maybe.
Yeah, it might be actually. It is like really random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, man.